Hello Pisces, and welcome to your August 2021 mid-month check-in. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising for a more well-rounded perspective. And if you are looking for something that is more personalized to you and your situation, check out the description box below for links to my website and Etsy shop. Right, let's go ahead and begin. The first card that we are starting out with says, every journey starts with a single step. This is really coming in strong with that overall feeling of how when we are going through something, it's really frustrating when we can only see one step at a time. So we can see off in the horizon, we can see the thing that we envision, we can see what we're working towards, we can see what it is that we are hoping or desiring, or we are moving towards putting our energy into and what we are believing in. But when we look directly in front of us, we barely see the step that we need to take, the very next step. We barely see through the fog, mist, haze, however you want to apply the analogy. You can barely see that one step that's right in front of you, let alone the rest of the one that's leaving to that vision off in the horizon that seems to be fairly clear, especially in contrast. And so this is just another reminder. I feel like some of you have probably already received this reminder in some facet, whether you're doing work on your own, have had previous tarot readings or oracle readings or psychic readings, have had channel messages, doesn't matter. I do feel that a good bit of you have already kind of received this message before, about how just it takes one step at a time. Just focus on the step that you're on right now. You can look off in the horizon. You can look at that vision that's off in the horizon as a means of encouraging you to remind you what you're working towards, but also just know that the only step that you see is the only step that you're supposed to be on right now. And don't take another step until you're guided or directed or you see it being presented before you, but don't get frustrated when you can't see it. And I feel like this is a message that has been coming through quite often because it seems like this is the position you have been in for a little bit now, to the point that it's getting frustrated. So whether you are just stepping into this aspect of your journey or you have been in this aspect of your journey for a while, this is just words of encouragement to let you know this is all part of the process. And any journey, no matter how long or how short it is, it just takes one step at a time. And sometimes the only step we're supposed to be focusing on is the one that is directly in front of us. So at this point in time, just focus on what is in front of you, what has been given to you, what has been guided to you or directed to you, what has been presented to you right now. That's all you're supposed to be focused on. And whenever there is something new that needs to be focused on or changed or transitioned or shifted, or you're supposed to be taking the next step, that will be revealed to you in its time as needed. But until then, just focus on what it is that you're supposed to be focusing, what has been presented to you right now. And if you have completed that task, whatever it is, if you've been given a step, guidance, direction, and you have already completed that, you don't see how you have anything left to do, then you're supposed to rest. You take that time to rest, to heal yourself, to become present, get to know yourself a little bit more, get rested up before the next step is presented. This is the process of the journey that you're on right now. I feel like it's what you're feeling very heavily as we enter into the middle of the month, and it's going to be pretty heavy for a couple days in the middle of August. And this is just a gentle reminder from those that you work with that this is just the process of it right now. Don't let yourself get discouraged. Like I said, if you've completed the task at hand that you've been guided to, then whatever time is remaining until the next step is revealed, allow yourself to rest, because the journey's not done. So just rest in the moments that there is rest or time period to rest. Cultivate your connections, really kind of hone your skill sets and other facets, because the next step will be revealed when it's time. We have the 10 of Wands that comes in with the overall sense of burden. And in this particular imagery, we notice that she is sitting. And I feel that this is just validating what I've already remarked upon, in that it takes one step at a time. Again, if you've completed the task, if it's done, if it's finished, and you're waiting for the next one to reveal, it's the perfect time to rest. Whatever you are working on is heavy, is big, is large, and the journey is long and hard. And in both of these particular images that we have here, this one has a bundle on the back. This image here is carrying a suitcase. There's definitely something of importance that you are carrying. There is a load that you are carrying as you move through whatever it is that you are moving through. through at this particular time, which is why they're letting you know to take rest. You're not going to have an opportunity right now to put down whatever this burden or load or responsibility or obligation is that you are facing. It is not time for you to put that down yet. So as a result of it, you're going to be taking a step, and occasionally when a step is completed, you're going to be given some time and space to rest, and they're just telling you to rest during that. Take your time to sit down, get the necessary rest before you have to pick yourself up and move forward, because ultimately the King of Wands is letting us know that there is still going to be quite a bit of action continuing to push and move you forward. There is work that is going to need to be focused on and required of you. So rest is necessary. Rest when you can rest is something that you should take advantage of as it is presented to you, knowing full well that even when you are given a moment to rest, no, the journey isn't done. You're correct when you feel like the journey or the task is not done, but there's more left to the task, and you need to be able to replenish your reserves before you continue on, before you continue to tackle this, whatever it is. You need rest days. I don't know why this analogy came into play, but all I can think of is those within the fitness world, those who are striving for a healthy perspective on fitness. They will tell you you need rest days. Or you need to be rotating what you're focusing on when you are doing whatever training that you are doing, so that you give yourself rest days on either the whole body or aspects of your body. But this is the sentiment that I have coming through. You need rest days because the work is heavy. And once you've completed the work, you need rest to heal from it, which allows you to prepare for the work that is ahead of you. So every step that you're going to be taking towards that vision that is off in the horizon requires a lot of your energy, a lot of your focus, a lot of you in general, and all of your facets and assets that you have existence within yourself. And as a result of it, you deplete your reserves. You need to rest to not only replenish those reserves, but also to heal from the tasks that you just completed, as well as to prepare for the tasks that you're going towards. So there's a bit of a cycle in this, as far as work, rest, work, rest, work, rest. And this is all going to take nice, long, slow steps to that vision in the horizon. Just have faith that it is still taking you one step at a time towards that envisioned thing that you have, that you see in the horizon. We have the Devil card, and I feel like this is really coming in strong with two things. Creation is coming through. The Devil card actually is simultaneously sign for Capricorn, the Yule period, that concept of creation that you get when you think of Capricorn. I know it's not particularly, everybody focuses on creation with Capricorn, but there is an energy of creation, new life. When you think of Yule, when you think of the winter solstice, this is when you transition from the dark to the light. Now after Yule, after that Yule experience, the Yule solstice, the light slowly, steadily grows. So this is coming through in creation. It's coming through as light steadily growing. Once you get to that period, it's coming through as a time period. So something's going to be happening. There's going to be a shift that you're going to experience that is going to feel kind of like that, but it's slow. So just like you don't notice the day after the Yule solstice or winter solstice, you don't notice that you've gained a day of daylight unless you're actually actively looking at when the sun sets versus when the sun rises and how it compares to previous days and days coming up. If you're not actually focusing on it, you don't know it. It takes a couple days before you recognize, hey, it's staying light later. But this is the sort of transition you're going to experience in the coming, I can't really say. I feel like for a good bit of you, it is in the coming months. But this is not across the board, because the frequencies a lot of you are on is different from each other. So that's why I can't pinpoint, because we all are living out this journey on our own time frame. So it's a little bit different for, there's enough variables set by those of you who are viewing this. So I can't really give a solid time frame for you as a result of this, because it is a general reading. But there is a time frame. There'll come a point where you'll reach a pivotal point and it'll start going in the other direction. But even when it happens, you might not notice it right away. So this card is coming through like that, and it's also coming through as a message of don't try really hard to not get stuck into old habits. So when things get hard, try not to revert to old habits. You've already replaced some of these coping mechanisms and habits in your path in your life journey with healthier ones, or ones that actually are better suited to who you have grown into. So when it gets particularly hard or gets particularly heavy, try to rely on those new strengths that you have created within yourself instead of reverting to those old habits. But either way, just remember to keep pledging through one step at a time, focusing, resting when you need to rest, knowing full well that there is some work that's going to be ahead of you. But along with the work comes times of rest. There's a rotation, which is why this journey seems to be taking so long. But you are still journeying, no matter how much it might feel some days that you're stuck in one place. Rest when you feel stuck. Finally, we have the card of shadow, and I just feel like this is letting you know that there is some shadow work that you're going to be kind of facing. Shadow work is one of those things that I don't think that you're required to do. It's one of those things that if you choose to participate in doing, that you should be fully aware of what you're diving into when you dive into shadow work, because it can be fairly deep. It can kind of be still dark waters, so to speak. So I think that, you know, shadow work isn't for everyone, but there is some shadows of yourself that you will be facing, and how you face it and what you deal with it is up to you at the time that you face it. And if you want to dive into it, this winter period may be a good time for that, if it's something that you choose to do. But regardless you want to tackle shadow work or not, there are some personal shadows that through this process you will be facing. And so at some point, at time when you face them, you have to make a decision as to what you want to do with the shadows that rise, should they rise, when they rise. But I do feel like as you are leaving August and entering not just September, but entering into the fall season and, you know, continuing to lead into the winter season, this is just a forewarning that there are some personal shadows that are going to kind of creep up, and you are going to be looking at. They're going to kind of present themselves to you, so to speak. And this is just a bit of a forewarning as you are experiencing all this other energy, so that you're not caught off guard when suddenly this shadow of yourself presents itself. You're not caught off guard by it. All right, that is all I have for you, Pisces. I hope you find this reading empowering and so much more. I hope you find a way to take one step at a time and be able to relax in yourself in those steps and feel empowered to move when it's time to move. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising for a more well-rounded generalized reading. And if you're looking for something that's a bit more personal to you and your situation, be sure to check out the description box for links to my website and my Etsy shop. Other than that, have a wonderful August, and I will see you in the next video.